Is it better to invest in apartments or single-family homes? Should you be buying houses or should you be investing in duplexes, 3 units, or even bigger apartment buildings? All that and more coming up. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 4 reasons I invest in multifamily real estate rather than single-family houses. Now, I may be a bit biased. My name is Mike Fritz. I'm a multifamily real estate investor. I love investing in multifamily real estate, and I love helping others just like you do the same. I believe after this video, you're going to see exactly why you should be investing in multifamily real estate just like me. The very first reason I believe multifamily trumps single family is you get multiple streams of revenue from one footprint of property. Meaning, every time you buy a multifamily building, you have more than one person paying you. Meaning, if one of your tenants moves out, your bills still get paid. You own a single family home, that tenant moves out, what's happening? Nobody's paying those bills. Oh wait, yes there is. It's you. And I don't want that to happen. That's why I love multifamily. When one of my tenants moves out, they don't call me asking me to pay the bills because the other tenant is still paying every month until we can replace that tenant, covering our expenses for that month. Now that month, we may not make any money, but it doesn't cost us any money. And with a single family home, it's going to cost you every time a tenant moves out until you can replace that tenant. Since no matter if you're buying a single family home or a multifamily home, you have to go through the same process. You have to get a loan, you have to find a property, you have to raise or find the money. Because you have to go through that whole process, you might as well go through it for a property that can pay you every month. And if somebody moves out, you still don't have to cover those extra expenses. Essentially, multifamily real estate is an insurance policy rather than just a piece of real estate. Because you have multiple tenants and one moves out, that ensures you don't have to cover those bills. With a single family home, you are the insurance policy. The second reason I love multifamily homes over single family homes is forced appreciation. Forced appreciation is where you get to dictate how quickly the building raises in value. A single family home, the rent may be able to go up a little bit, but essentially a single family home is dependent on the area and the economy to tell it when it's worth more. It goes up when the area goes up. But a piece of multifamily real estate goes up when the income goes up. You see, banks and appraisers look at multifamily real estate like a business. When the income goes up, the value goes up. And if you can raise that value, guess what? Your property's worth more. So if you have a property inside of a year and you can raise those rents your first year, you can see that forced appreciation on year 1 rather than waiting for 2, 3, 4 years to see the value of that property increase. I like investing in real estate that places me in control. And multifamily real estate does that in many different ways. Not only is somebody else paying your bills, and if one person moves out, you're covered, but it also allows me to raise those rents or decrease expenses and see the value of my property go up. So if I buy a property for $500,000 and I can get the rents raised, that thing can go to $550,000, $600,000 inside of a year as long as I can raise those rents. We had a property we invested in just about a month ago where the previous owner bought the property, emptied out the tenants, fixed it up, filled it with brand new tenants, and doubled its value. Doubled its value. You heard that right. Meaning because he got tenants paying much more rent than they were when he bought it. That's all he did. Did he make the units nicer? Yes, but because he did that, he was able to raise those rents and doubled his value. It's essentially a giant fix and flip in which you get to hold the property and still experience cash flow month after month after month. Maybe you know somebody who's thinking about investing in apartments. Share this video with them and make sure they also know why they should be investing in multifamily real estate rather than single family houses. The third reason I love multifamily rather than single family is it's recession resistant. What does that mean? That means when the economy goes down, our cash flow doesn't go down. When you have a multifamily, in fact, when the economy goes down and people lose their homes, it creates more renters that are driven to the area. Often our rent goes up because the demand goes up. So in 2008 and 2009, when we saw a huge economic crash in the real estate market, did the value of multifamily go down with all other real estate? Of course, but what didn't go down was cash flow. And in fact, a lot of people that own multifamily real estate, their cash flow went up because they could charge more for rents because there was a greater demand for multifamily. There's one thing we can be sure. People are going to need a place to live. In the United States, we are quickly becoming a renter nation. More people want to rent than want to buy than ever before. That is continually becoming lopsided, where more people want to become renters than want to be owners. And that being said, the more units we can own to provide that value, we're going to see the benefit of that every single month on our cash flow statement, leveraging the fact that more and more and more people want to rent versus buy. And then the fourth reason I like multifamily versus single family is you get bigger and more cash flow. It takes more money to get into the deals, but remember, we raise that from private investors. But you're going to get more cash flow every single month from a piece of multifamily than you are from a single family home. A duplex, let's say it gets $1,000 a side, that's $2,000. House down the road probably will get $1,500. You have an extra $500 a month, and you still only had to get one loan. You only had to close on one property. It's generating more cash per property. Now, of course, we always look at our return on investment. It doesn't matter how much money it makes in a gross sense. It depends on how much I get to keep. But multifamily creates more money for you to keep. And that's why I love having multiple tenants pay me, because my checks are bigger at the end of each month. If you're going to get into real estate, or you're already in real estate, start leveraging multifamily because you can force appreciate, because of cash flow is huge, because it's recession resistant. These are reasons why I believe every single person should invest in multifamily real estate. Multifamily real estate far outstretches the benefits of single family, in my opinion, for the reasons I listed in this video. And if you really want to see your wealth grow, your cash flow grow, and your ability to replace your income, live life on your terms, you're going to want to see more and more money coming in every single month. And multifamily gives you the ability to see that happen. But I've noticed before people jump into multifamily, a lot of fear starts coming into play. Can I really get the money? That's a lot of tenants. What happens if this happens? It's a big price tag. How do I really get into a property in that price range? I want you to stop thinking about why you shouldn't do it. Start asking yourself the question, how can I make this happen? Robert Kiyosaki taught us in the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. When you see something that you like to buy, but you don't have the money, you don't say, why can't I afford that? You say, how can I afford that? Change the question. And it's the same way with multifamily. Start asking yourself, how can I get my next or my first piece of multifamily real estate without using even any of my own money? I also have a free gift for you. I've put together what we call our multifamily masterclass. It's a 60-minute training where I walk you through how I got into multifamily and how you can start leveraging the powerful strategies I teach to get your own multifamily real estate paying you every single month. Click on the link in the description, join our training, and I'll see you there.